And let's move on to, this is our next game. It is 1979, and so at this moment, I'd like to talk about what they consider the golden age of arcade games. We are at the cusp. This is pretty much it, and beginning with Space Invaders is what some people would say is the beginning of the golden age of arcade games. We are now in that range where there's going to be hit after hit after hit in the arcades, and almost every single one of them is going to be emulated or copied, just like Space Invaders was. The Space Invaders would be the ultimate, let's copy that video game. But this, again, is another big hit. There's so many things that I can go on about Galaxian. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the artwork first. This is 1979. Here's the advertising flyer for Galaxian from Midway. Midway is kicking out of the park. Taito released Space Invaders, and it was a big hit. Midway had already been doing pinball and been in the arcades for a while, so they took the idea and they ramped it up a notch. Way better than any copy. Galaxian went way beyond that. This first is had the largest board PCB that you could have had in the arcades, and it was able to use that power to give more color than any arcade game. And this set the standard of what kind of colors you wanted to see in the arcade.
That's interesting. I looked it up and it says it's published or developed by Namco when I looked it up online.
Oh, the
That's
original
weird.
was developed by Namco?
It says developed by Namco, and then it's got the designers. Yes, 1979. I'm sorry. This says September 15th in Japan, 1979, and then North America was that following February. So that's interesting. I wonder why. Maybe Midway. Maybe mid. That's weird.
Well, we should make sure we understand the developer publisher side. When I say by Midway, I didn't mean it developed by Midway. I meant
Oh, they said
Midway
developed.
took it
Okay.
to America, and they are the ones that published it for America. So, yeah, thanks for that info, because Namco was the original developer and creator, and then I don't know if they published it in Japan, but they're the ones that designed and created the arcades
Gotcha. Midway
system.
Manufacturing, as it was known back in the day.
Ah, yes, a Bally company. Bally was part of it too. All right, so
Yes,
here's
you
the
can
back
see
of the
that.
advertisement flyer. Oh, there we go. It gives you all the info: score, high score, all the alien ship points, and what you've all been wanting to know: what is the name of that one alien in Galaxian? His
Right.
name is Red Alien. So there you go. It's official. It's Red Alien.
I remember I used to get this one confused with Galaga. I'm like, hey, it's that Galaga game. And then I started playing, I'm like, this is different.
We won't see that for a little bit later. This is
Yeah.
the first one. Midway's new Space Wars video game features full color monitor available in one or two upright cabinet. Oh man, looks awesome.
One or two?
One or two, a two player. Sorry, one or two
Oh,
player.
okay. I was going to say two. I don't know. It's like, I don't remember seeing a two cabinet. That would have been cool.
Yeah, we have seen some of those cabinets that have two monitors on them.
Yeah.
One from the year before. All right, so there's a terrible picture of the arcade cabinet. Here's our control panel. Very simple joystick, move left and right and fire. And sadly, this means if there's only one joystick on there, it looks like Jose will not be actively controlling it. Yeah, so well, we'll see. Oh, no, it looks like it has two. Okay, it has two separate ones they set for us. So
Oh,
moving and firing. There is just some fan art for you for. Oh,
oh,
wait.
oh.
Wrong artwork.
False.
There we go. Galaxian, totally different. All right, so let's see what the manual's up for this one. This is the service manual for Galaxian. There we go. This is for February 1980, and that's
Mhm.
because this is when Midway ported it to the United States. It was around 1980. By the way, the date we see on the service manual does not mean the date it was released. It actually they put in the date of when the manual came out, so or when they created the manual. So this could have been when it was still in production, not before it was released to the public. All right, so general instructions. Okay, that's how to install Galaxian. We're not going to talk about installing arcade systems on Chronologically Gaming. And oh, I wanted some cool intro. Like, is there a story to Galaxian?
We
But it
should
looks
just
like
read
no.
this from start to finish.
That's the epic story and lore of Galaxian. putting in part.
0070003-035.
Please, Jose, it's too intense. I can't handle it.
There are children watching. Maybe, I don't know.
Darn. Okay, yeah. So no
That's pretty
story.
cool that they have all the diagrams though for the boards and all that.
Yeah, because as the operators in the arcade, they needed to know for troubleshooting if something were like a fuse were to go out or something did break. They needed to have the full schematic of everything to help to fix it. This is way before the information age. You needed all the everything on that one manual was what we needed. All right, so for additional versions, we have a bootleg version, which we won't play, different versions from Midway, and here we go, the originals from Namco and Taito. It looks like Taito did one. Plus we have clones. Astrians is another one. So if we're hoping we would play Astrians, we won't because it's just a clone. Then Galaxian Part 4, Part X, Turbo. These are all hacks or clones of Galaxian. Super Galaxian, Kamikaze 3, Super GX. So lots of different from the same board, but being... Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. All right, so let's check it out. This is in the arcades. This is October 1979. Galaxian is released in the arcades by Namco. Oh, yeah. The attract mode has no sound. Let's see if we can get some different artwork for us, because this is one example. I love to see what else they have. So this was the Midway view. This is what you would have gotten from the North American release by Midway. We also have what Namco released. So in Japan, when it was first released, this was the Galaxian artwork you'd see on the outside. Plus, we got the control panel. That's pretty cool. Very tiny to see. I can barely see it in the bottom corner of the instructions, but it's showing you points. So for all the uber nerds that want to know what score they're going to get. And then we just got some different artwork, like just random Galaxian artwork. Yeah, 4-3. And then, yeah, just that artwork we're seeing in the background is the Namco one. That was on the side of the cabinet. But we'll stick with this one. Sure, control panel and everything. And then maybe zoom in a little bit. All right, so let's put a coin in and see what happens. If I put 1 in, looks like start. If I put 2 in, oh, it didn't say second player, but let's see what happens when we start. Player 1. Moving the joystick left and right. Looks like, yeah, it's just a fire. Very similar to Space Invaders. I tell you what, Jose, point out all the differences you can see between this and Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. Well, there's nothing to hide behind.
That's true. I am totally in the open. I'm exposed.
I guess they come and attack you in different groups and swarms. If I remember correctly, the only thing that would attack you was the one little ship that would just kind of fly across every so often, right?
Yeah, that UFO is at the very top. Oh, player 2. Let's see. Do you have control? Anything?
I do not.
Okay, sorry. It's only programmed on 1, sadly. So it's alternating. So it's still me, even though Jose's here. But, yeah, Space Invaders was just... The idea of them crawling across the screen, it was, you know, it was slow moving. Now they're flying at me.
Yep, it's dynamic, man.
And we got full color.
I love the colors, yeah, the colors are awesome.
And sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's so much they threw into this one. I'm thinking already...
Makers from the 90s.
I'm already thinking this is 5 stars.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is a great game.
Oh man. Something else we can do just for fun. I'm not game over yet. So it's back to player 1. But even though it's just alternating 2 people, first and second player. Let me. Oh yeah, and the sound, the sound effects are one thing, but I know we don't have music, but listen to the thumping. They took the idea of Space Invaders and they're doing this dun, 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 in the background and just ramping it up a notch. It's awesome. The other thing too that it makes this unique is the background. They have this star field that's going, and yeah. We technically couldn't call this a vertical shooter because I don't have any range of my ship. Like I can't move my ship forward and back. I'm just moving it left and right. Yeah. But it gives us the illusion we're flying through space rather than being stuck at home like Space Invaders.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to always imagine that the ship that you were controlling was like the Enterprise, because it kind of had the same little.
Kamikaze. Got me in there. So another thing we can do is look in the back of the arcade cabinet to see what options are there. We have dip switches that are in the back of the cabinet. Everyone loves the name dip switches, but you can change if you want this to be a upright or cocktail cabinet, and then what kind of things happen when you put the coin in, and then how long it takes to get a bonus life, and then how many lives you get. So you have little switches you can adjust. Every arcade had it, because if you're in the arcades, let's say the area people played this so much, they were getting really good at it, and on one coin they could play 8 hours straight. You're not going to make a lot of money if you play 8 hours for 25 cents. So the operator just goes back there, flips a few dip switches, and makes it really hard for them to play.
He modded it.
Oh, yeah. All right, so many things this game is doing for the industry, and something we haven't talked about on the channel too much is the psychology behind just playing games in general, because we're still in the age where these video games are meant to be like carnival attractions. So the desire to play more and longer is just to get a bigger score, to just tell someone, hey, I was at the arcade and I made 8,000 on Galaxian.
You got 50,000 on Double Dragon.
What movie was that? I know that. I should know that one.
The Wizard, my friend. The Wizard.
Oh, that's right. The advertisement for Mario 3. Yeah.
Yes. We'll get to that eventually, boys and girls.
Yes, I don't think we're going to watch The Wizard on Chronologically Gaming, but the game, yes. Oh, yes. All right, there we go. That is Galaxian. As my guest, Jose, you get to rate Galaxian.
That's a classic. It's a 5-star game. You can't beat
5 stars.
Even people who don't like video games, like if they kind of got it, they would probably enjoy it. Like that, and I think Pac-Man was definitely one of the first big ones. Like if you weren't really a super serious gamer, it's just real easy to pick up and play, and you could enjoy yourself for however long.
Definitely, yeah. All right, and we're rating these based on the times. So I know now we could still say it's a fun game to play. We're not rating them or basing them on what we know now with video games. Me and Jose are mentally and possibly physically, we're not sure, going back in time and pretending this is all we got and all we've seen so far, based on everything else, if you want to see the archival footage on YouTube or Twitch, whatever your flavor. All right, so that was Galaxian.